Okay, welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And we're in Memphis this week.
God, I wish we were in Memphis.
I wish we were in Memphis. I bet the weather's nicer in Memphis.
Definitely warmer than this.
Okay, so we're not really in Memphis, but our friend Sheila Bissell brought us 2 beers from Memphis. Actually, she bought more than 2, but these are the 2 that we're going to talk about this week. From Memphis Made Brewing, we have a Fireside Amber Ale, and this one is fun. We've done IPAs before. This one's called Catnip Ipa. And at the top of the can it says, I am catnip, and it pairs well with lasagna.
Like Garfield's
It
favorite.
actually says pairs well with lasagna.
Dude, that's legit.
So I thought, yep, this is one. We're going to have to do this. So
Okay, cool. Well, I did a little bit of research on red and amber ales.
Okay.
So that's the way we'll attack those. I wish I would have known that was a catnip one. My gut is it's a take on, well, literal catnip, but it kind of has that same property as some other hallucinogenic and some green things that, the herbal supplements that you see around.
Legal in states to the west of us, yeah.
Like in California and Colorado and whatnot.
Yep.
So that's my guess because it's in the same family as hop. So I'm wondering if catnip is in the same family as hops. So that's
Maybe.
my guess.
Wait a minute. So cannabis is in the same family as hops?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it just doesn't have any of the same. It doesn't have the same powers.
The CBD stuff or whatever that is.
But they are making, like in Colorado, I know they're making CBD infused beers and drinks and stuff. So
I had one.
Oh, did you?
It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was just fine.
When you came down, it was pretty all right. Huh?
Yeah. All right. So which one you want? You want to do the IPA? You want to do the
Let's
catnip
do the
first?
IPA and just get into it a little bit, and because I think we don't want that one to warm up too much.
No. So.
And you've got, I'm assuming, brewery research.
Yes.
Cool.
And now here's the thing, and I did some.
Thank you.
You bet. Like I always do. Did some research on the brewery. I don't think they've been around very long.
I've been to Memphis in the last 3 or 4 years, and this wasn't there. So yeah,
Right.
I'm thinking you're right.
I think they're very
Ooh,
small.
that smells really good.
It smells really good.
That really smells good.
Yes, pairs well. Okay, so before I get into this, let's try this out.
Yeah,
Pairs
let's do
well
that.
with lasagna, Catnip IPA. There's definitely hops. I mean, that's
Yeah, it's hoppy. It almost has a sweet honey aftertaste to it.
a little bit. So
Yum, that's good. I like that.
So this is different than. This is where I'll need your beer knowledge. This is different than maybe some of the others we've had before, where it's not a dry hop, so it's not a floral thing.
Yeah, this is the hops are in the boil basically. So this is more of an old school traditional IPA than the kind that you favor. It's definitely not hazy.
No.
You can see right through that.
It's a nice golden.
Yeah. I mean, it has a good color for an IPA for sure. A lot of bubbles, which I'm kind of surprised about. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, it almost looks like a snow globe. There's so many, at least for mine.
I wonder. So it doesn't give me the IBUs on here. What do you think on the alcohol by volume? What do you think? What do you guess?
see.
This is one of my favorite parts.
I'm gonna think about it if I was Dolan. Let me take a look.
What do you think?
I'd say 6.8.
6.2. So it
There's
does
still a
taste
little in my system, like Dolan. Probably that's probably where I get the
your
0.6
breakfast
extra.
beers.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I'm gonna be that guy,
What guy?
That
guy,
Which one?
and say the beer is actually called Cat Nap.
It's not called Catnap. Oh, it
It
is.
is. How many?
Man.
When did you have that CBD beer?
He's so much smarter than we are.
Well, he can read, which is something I didn't know about today. Huh.
Man, I apologize, Memphis Made Brewing. That's
We were on the catnip.
Catnap.
Wow.
Catnap.
That is. I wish I would have even seen the. I didn't even see the can till just now. I would have been able to see that too, Dolan. Good call.
I'm trying to do too many things. This is why he's
Reading is one of the tougher ones.
That is tough.
I like the cat's tail at the end. It just looks like a cat.
It's a fun can, if I had read it correctly.
Well, here's the thing: catnip, catnap. It still plays to the cat theme on the can.
True. That's
Tastes
true.
good.
Yep. They're still going for that Garfield sort of. It's got little cat paws all over it. It's
I like that.
yeah.
Hey, thanks for calling us out there, Dolan. We need to be brought down to earth once in a while.
Jamie, did you see that?
She was going to blow it
notice?
up. She took like 10 pictures of it.
She didn't notice either.
Well, you
See.
didn't have it turned towards me. So
Oh, there we go. She's just trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't like to embarrass you.
On recording.
Dolan
That's smart.
does.
Dolan
Dolan does.
It's like, what?
I think it would have been more of an embarrassment if I posted this and it said
yeah.
and just let you guys go.
Oh, that's true. It would have been
I don't know.
more
I feel
embarrassing this way.
I feel kind of embarrassed, but I didn't see the can, so I'm
Yeah.
with Jamie on this one.
All right, let's start over. Take 2. No.
Oh, it's delicious.
Okay, so Memphis Made Brewing Company, small independent production brewery located, this is right off their website, in the vibrant neighborhood of Cooper Young in Memphis, Tennessee. They produce 3 year-round beers and plenty of seasonal and limited
They've
runs.
got to be small. Then.
So they're small, yeah, only 3 year-round. And I think Fireside might be one of them. I'm not sure. Their website is just a landing page still. Like there's not
No
a
content?
whole no, not really. A couple of photos, and then there's a fun cat video. They must be cat people, because they're like, in the interim of us building this website, here's a fun cat video, and it's some weird like Japanese cat video.
Oh, I got to go check.
You
got
gotta check it out. It's 8 minutes long. I watched the whole thing.
twice.
It was one of the other things I wanted to do too is Brian got me back on the Untappd app.
Yeah.
So I look, as soon as I say it, it's like Pavlov's dog. He reaches for his pocket.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't have it on me, but
No.
I wish I did. It's like
So-
phantom limb there.
Yeah. So we'll go through and I'll look at it. Yeah. So we changed the front door code, so now we can see people as they come in the front door.
Oh, he can't get in.
Struggle. There, you figured it out. Good job. Okay, so I thought we'd introduce this make this a part of each one of the podcasts. What is their rating on Untappd for each of these beers?
Oh, okay.
So you want to guess, or like do you want to guess? Or
It's so small, man. This could be all over the place. I'm guessing since it's a small brewery.
yeah.
What's the rating for this?
What's
like the overall?
What's the overall rating? And here's the thing: I'm not going to disagree with this rating. So if that gives
So this
you a
is
clue,
average. So we're gonna say 3.34.
3.51,
Okay, that's about.
and I would have gone like a 3.25,
That's where I was. Yeah, I was gonna pocket in between there. So
which isn't a bad review at all. I think that's just
very
a
drinkable.
very standard IPA.
I mean, it's not rated out of 20. It's out of 5. So
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
that's not bad at all. So, and then we'll do the Fireside when that comes up too.
Okay.
I'll cover up my answer sheet here so you don't,
Yeah, I
don't
can't.
see.
I'm not Dolan. I can't see that far away.
Right. So, what before we get into the Fireside, what kind of knowledge did you bring to us this week?
Well, I did some research. Have you been to Memphis?
No.
Oh my goodness. Anybody here at the table been to Memphis?
No.
Dolan.
Dolan. Did you play down there? Dolan's in a band or 3.
No, I went to the Guitar Factory.
Oh.
Gibson. I did the tour there. Have you been on the tour?
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah.
The Gibson Guitar Factory is
Yeah.
in Memphis? Okay.
And also,
Graceland.
yeah, Graceland.
Graceland, yeah.
Beale Street.
There. Yep. There you go. Beale Street. Yeah. It's a music town for sure.
Okay.
I was there the weekend B.B. King passed away.
Oh.
So
That's where he's from.
there was a lot of stuff going on.
That'd be
sure.
That'd be a sad time there probably.
So I did some research on a couple of things that make Memphis kind of famous, or some of the things that I did when I was there. And then after we get into the other beer, the Fireside, I'm going to go through and kind of hot take you on some of the people that are there.
Okay.
So some of the people that are from there, born there, live there most of their lives there, that sort of stuff.
Elvis.
He's from around that area. He's born in Tupelo,
Okay.
Mississippi.
Okay.
Spent most of his time in Memphis.
Oh, all right.
So the thing that I did my main research on is a hotel that I stayed at there, and it's called the Peabody Hotel. And this is a world famous hotel for about maybe one reason. This hotel has had ducks in the hotel maybe since 1869.
Like ducks that live there?
Yeah, they lived there. So the story goes, I think it was 1930, the owner and his buddies came back from Arkansas. They had gone on a duck hunt. And back then, it was legal to have live ducks as your decoys. So you would have some ducks. You would own ducks and put them out on the water and bring in other ducks that you would then blast, right?
Traders.
Yeah, that's how you used to do it. So their decoys were their live ducks, and they brought them back. Maybe they had a sarsaparilla or two. Who knows?
Sure.
They put them in the fountain of in the lobby of the hotel. Thought that was pretty funny. As you do, right?
Sure.
So they did that, and they stayed there for like 10 years.
Wow.
And then they just lived in the hotel. So in 1940, there was a bellman there. His name was Edward Pembroke. And he said, hey, I will take care of these ducks. I will teach them something.
It took him 10 years to find somebody to take care of the ducks?
I guess that's the day he started working there.
Okay.
He had previously been an animal trainer in the circus.
Oh.
So what he ended up doing was training them, and they had a place that they put them up on the roof, like in a shack or shed or whatever these ducks went. And he trained them at 11 o'clock. They all walked in a line, and they would get in an elevator, and they would take the elevator down to the lobby, and then the door would open, and they, like at 10:55 or whatever, the employee staff roll out this red carpet from the elevator, and they walk on the red carpet, and then they get into the fountain.
Okay.
And then they stay there. And then at 5 o'clock, the guy comes back out. He has a stick. And he just taps it a couple times. And they get out of the fountain and they get in line and they walk back to the elevator and they go back to the top. And they play like Philip Sousa song every day. They do this. And they've been doing that now for 78, almost 80 years now. They still do it.
You have to be making this up.
No, it's for real. So I went there. My wife, we went there because of a medical conference.
Okay.
St. Jude's Children's Hospital Research Center is there, and they were putting on a big medical conference. My wife is a pediatric doctor, and so I tagged along when I found out we were staying at the Peabody. I wasn't going to go, but then I found out this was there. So I positioned myself at the bar at 10:45 like you do on vacation.
Enjoying a sarsaparilla.
Yeah, and the bar mix that they had. And I wanted to see this for myself. And boy, oh boy, so did the whole town. It's like a big tourist thing. So like right around 11 o'clock, everybody comes in off the streets just to see these ducks.
Just to see the ducks.
And I think there's 4 ladies and 1 gentleman duck that live there all the time.
Yeah.
And they've been having that amount and those same kind of ducks. Mallard, there was a mallard duck that I remember. And then they stay there. And they bring them down every day. So if you walk to the hotel, if you go in there in the middle of the day in the lobby and you want to check in, there's ducks in the fountain.
Just in the fountain.
Yep, just swimming around, chilling. That's it. That's the story.
I would never have believed that otherwise. There's no way.
So here's the thing about those ducks. I did a little more research. They showed up in 1979. They were on Johnny Carson.
Okay.
So the guy, Mr. Pembroke, and the ducks showed up to be on TV and kind of show them what they did. So like precursor of the stupid pet tricks from David Letterman, right?
Yes.
These ducks were on Sesame Street in the late 70s. Then they ended up on an episode of Coach, one of your favorite shows probably.
I liked that show.
And they were also on Oprah. So these are world famous ducks.
Wow.
There was a picture that they found doing some research of this hotel. In 1915, there was a postcard. And there were ducks in the fountain on this postcard.
Okay.
So they're not sure if the 1930 story is accurate because there was actually a picture of the ducks there. And then there's some stories that they heard. The initial hotel was built 1869, and then about 25 years later, it moved a block away. They tore down the old built hotel and went into a newer, bigger hotel.
Sure.
So there are stories about the original hotel having ducks in the lobby and in the water there as well. So that was the draw for me, and it's on the historic hotel registry in the United States. It's a protected building. It's super cool in there. It's like an Italian Renaissance sort of architecture.
Okay.
The beautiful chandeliers and woodwork in there. It's just amazing. It's one of those places, if you can stay there, you should definitely stay.
Stay there. I'm going to guess that there's probably YouTube videos of this out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or their Facebook page, I'm sure will have it.
I really want, like, I know we have nurses in Memphis right now. We have nurses that are in the South that that are around there.
Yeah.
That's, man, I'd put a dinner on if you could go get a video of that for us. I want to see that.
Yeah,
I want to see the ducks like walking out of
That's exactly how they do it. And the guy follows them right up to the end. At least it was a guy when I was there. But also at that hotel, it's right pretty close to some pretty cool things. So for my room, if I looked across the street, it was the Memphis Redbirds baseball stadium.
Even better.
And there, I think they have a brewery in there now, if I'm not mistaken, in the baseball stadium.
What?
Yeah. And then just across the street another way, I wrote this down because I want to talk about it. Charles Virgo's Rendezvous. It's a barbecue restaurant. Memphis is known for their dry rub barbecue.
Yes.
And when we asked the people that live there, because you can go on the website, right, and be like, oh, what's the top 10 places to go?
Right.
That's great and touristy. We're like, okay, where do you go and eat? Mm-hmm. They were like, right here, across the street. Go check it out. But you got to get early because they sell out every day.
Really?
And it's in an alleyway, so the only door in is in an alley, which is somewhat sketchy, but that's been there a long time. And they were just across the street, and they sell, their main pull is ribs.
Okay.
They also do all the other barbecue things that you would expect. They do sell barbecue sauce and seasoning, which I have always in my house. Ever since I've been there, I love it. So I buy it and I have them ship it to me.
Really?
I always have some. Always.
This sounds like a road trip. This really does. Yeah, and normally it's the story of the brewery that gets me. Like I'm like, I dig these guys or whatever. Like I want to go drink beer at their place or whatever. No, this is we'll go here. We'll go to Memphis Made, but I want to see this. Like I want to see the town. Like I never really had any desire to go to Memphis whatsoever.
Right.
I really didn't think.
I felt the same.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, and when I do these things with my wife, when I go to these conferences, we don't like have a car or anything, so it's got to be something that's walkable. It's got to be a walkable town for me.
Yeah.
And this one was. So from my hotel, I was able to walk to Sun Studios, which is where Johnny Cash and all those guys recorded, Elvis.
Yep.
I was able to walk to Beale Street. That was just down the street, so I went to Beale Street a few different times. I walked to the Pyramid, I think they call it.
Okay.
Where Memphis Grizzlies play basketball. And I went to an NBA game. One of my first NBA games I ever went to was there.
Yeah.
And then I saw also Memphis, their college basketball team is always usually pretty good. And they played a game that I went to as well.
Okay.
So, like, all those things were within walking distance.
Distance of
and
this hotel.
And a couple of breweries and restaurants. They have, like, a trolley car system, like an old school, like from the 40s and 50s that still operates in this part of town. So you can hop on that and go up and down the streets and lots of fun stuff to do. But it's in the area where the hotel is. It's one of those like business district-y things. So like on the weekend, there's not a lot of stuff open. More during the weekday, which is kind of fun.
Interesting. All right, I'm gonna put that out there then. So if you now here's the deal, you have to respond on Facebook. I want to see the Facebook video when we post when this goes up, and you listen to this. And if you're in Memphis on a contract, I don't care if you're with us or not. You don't have to be an Atlas nurse. I don't even care. Respond back and put that video, put a link to that YouTube video in that you took.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy you dinner at this barbecue place. How's that?
Oh, cool. That's amazing.
You send me the receipt. You go find this barbecue place, but I want to see the ducks coming out of the elevator.
Out of the elevator.
Because I think that'd be hilarious.
It's right at 11 o'clock on the dot every day. So.
Yep. Or going back onto the elevator at the end of their
5,
shift, right? Yeah, 5 o'clock, and they waddle back onto the elevator. So there you go.
Yeah, so that's my Peabody stuff that I know about.
Why is it that I'm gonna open the amber right now?
Okay, go ahead.
But why is it that people from like from the 30s to the 50s always had cooler names? Peabody, like that's a legit cool name. Ed Peabody.
So that was named after the guy that built the hotel. That was named after his friend, who was like I think a Civil War hero or something like that for them.
Okay.
So the guy that built usually the hotel's named after the person that built it. In this case, it was named after his friend. And then I think that guy gave it to like his son and daughter and let him run it as like a wedding gift or something back in the day.
Interesting. I just think they had cooler names back then. My
Yeah,
name's pretty
probably.
boring. Rich Smith. That couldn't be more boring. At least you have multiple syllables in your last name.
That's true, but nobody can spell it right or say it right.
Yeah,
So
true.
that's the risk you run.
There you go. Okay, so I opened the Memphis Made Brewing Fireside Amber Ale. Have we done an amber
No,
yet?
we haven't. So that's why I wanted to research this style a little bit. And really, what it is probably something you've had before.
Okay.
A lot of people are starting to call these amber ales in the last 25 years or so. But really, what it is like an English style pale ale. So English style versus American style. American pale ale, way more hoppy, bitter, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
This is not that. At least it shouldn't be. I haven't tried it yet.
Let me tell you. I'm gonna so taste it, but don't say anything because I want to see how my beer palate has evolved here. I would say this is way more malty than a pale would normally be.
Yes.
Ding, ding,
This
ding.
is a different kind of, so this is a caramel malt,
Okay.
which gives it this color.
Yep.
It has a little bit of some flavoring. It should be a little bit sweeter and like a biscuit or a cracker sort of thing.
Yep.
Light copper to light brown is the color spectrum for this style of beer. So there's all these standards that you have to hit to call it a certain beer, at least in the United States. So if it has to be in that area of color, it has to be between 25 and 45 IBU, which is low. I mean, there's some IPAs that we've been drinking that have less IBUs than 25. So that's just because the hops are in the boil. You don't taste the hops.
No.
But you really aren't going to taste them if it's less than 50 in a thing. You probably aren't going to get a lot of hop flavor.
There is no bitterness to this at all.
And then the range is supposed to be 4.4 to 6.1 ABV. That's where it's supposed to be at. So
What do you think?
I
I'm
would
looking
guess
at it.
around. I would guess high fives, like 5.7 maybe or so.
5.1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You're a stout guy, so I think you always
Yeah.
err to the higher side.
So that's
anyway.
less than like a Bud Light, I think. Is Bud Light 5.2?
5.2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this has less alcohol than a Bud Light, but this tastes 1,000% better to me than a Bud Light.
1,000 times better.
This is really good,
It's-
by the way.
So at first I thought, nope, this isn't my
Mm-hmm.
thing. But then after like the second drink, third drink, I could drink a lot of this.
Yeah.
This is that kind of malty punch in the mouth goes away,
Yeah.
and then it's just a nice, easy drinker.
I like that malty stuff because it kind of wakes up your taste buds at the beginning of the drink, you know?
Yep.
And it's not bitter, so that's usually how you do with an IPA. It kind of has to punch you a little bit. This one's just like a gentle caress.
Just a nice yes,
Yeah.
on the side of your face. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up the IBUs on this because I'm kind of
Okay.
curious. So if you want to get into the
So here's some
amber.
other beers that are in the amber style that we can get around here, or you might have had. North Coast out of California makes one called the Red Seal, which I know we can get here.
Okay.
How about this one? Fat Tire.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what this basically is.
What?
Yeah, that's
No.
the style of beer a Fat Tire is.
Really?
Yeah, and
An
it's the
amber?
and it's the highest rated amber beer on Beer Advocate. But there's 9,000 reviews for that beer.
Really?
Yeah, and then next closest one was like 3,000.
I need to give Fat Tire another chance because my first round with Fat Tire I didn't like it. But that was a while back.
I mean, they're one of the first craft beers that was kind of everywhere, and that was the flagship beer. That's like, so you've probably had that one. It's definitely almost everywhere you go. If they say they have craft beer, there probably is a Fat Tire on the menu. Yeah.
That was, I remember as I first started getting into this, my sister-in-law, who lives in Colorado, moved out there early. It was probably early 2000s, and when they got Fat Tire out there, and that was a big deal to her. So she remembers when bars started getting Fat Tire, and they would go to they would choose bars based on whether or not they had Fat Tire.
Yeah.
Back then.
I think it's. Well, I would say it's a standard beer because you can get it just about everywhere, and people take those for granted. Like people like me, for sure. Like this is an emergency beer for me, like this kind of style or a Fat Tire. Like if I'm at some place and that's the only thing that's there that's crafty.
Yep.
Then I'll be getting it, but I would never go and buy a 6-pack, and I probably should.
That's interesting. Emergency. So my emergency beer is Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Yeah.
That's because you can generally get that if they have Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud
Yeah.
Light, whatever, and Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Then
Because Sam Adams is so big that they're almost. I mean, they're not near the size of InBev, but they're the biggest craft brewery.
But I think outside of maybe like a Fat Tire, like you said, you can get a Boston Lager virtually anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's okay, and I'm okay with it. I don't
For
mind
sure.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
this style specifically is a really good gateway into craft because it's not hoppy, it's not bitter, it has flavor. There's some stuff going on with it, and you can usually find this style just about any place.
Untappd says IBUs NA.
Oh, not available.
Not available.
Well, we'll have to do some research.
I would say it's got to be like 20, nothing.
I mean, 25 is the low level for it to be considered this style. So I would say it's probably around there. 25, 30.
Okay.
Another one that is around here that we can maybe get sometimes is Rogue. They make one. It's called the American Amber Ale.
Yep.
And then I found this one, which I know we can get, and I think Dolan is a thrifty shopper, if anything. The Kirkland Signature. out of Costco.
Costco.
Rated a 3.13. So not terrible, apparently.
Have you tried a lot of Kirkland beers?
You know, I haven't had any, but that's not to say I wouldn't.
I would give them a shot.
I one time, and this is a total true story, I one time bought a 12-pack of beer at Walgreens, and it was like their own brand of beer,
Okay.
and it was not good.
That's desperation.
I saw it as an opportunity. I had to go there and get some cold medication anyway, and I thought, hey, why not throw this booze on top of the NyQuil?
Good call.
Was a bad choice.
Bad choice.
Yeah. Still had the cold.
That explains. Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. That brings that up. It's not craft at all, but we could certainly do a Kirkland lineup of beers. That'd be fun.
Yeah, another day. But I think, like, so like I know Trader Joe's, right? They have their own brand of beer, but it's brewed out of a brewery in Cincinnati that's called Rheingeist, I think.
Okay.
So Rheingeist has their own beer, and then they subcontract out for Trader Joe's, and they make Trader Joe's beer. So really, it's a brewery that's making the beer. So I'm guessing that's the same. I don't think there's some Costco beer factory that they're making all these, but we'd have to do some research and see where
on
it's
that.
coming from. Yeah.
Kind of like RC Cola made Sam's Cola for years.
Sure,
So
yeah.
Sam's Cola was basically RC Cola.
I like RC.
I do. I enjoyed a good Sam's Cola back in the day too.
The good thing about RC Cola, if you go to the gas station, it's usually 99 cents. It's like a thrifty buy.
Yep.
Which I'm a fan of.
Did you ever have a Big Red? Remember the Big Red pop?
Oh, yeah.
Dolan's
I
shaking
wasn't a
his head.
fan of that one. Didn't you guys like that one?
But that one was like 79 cents. Like that one was cheap. If you're a poor college kid,
yeah.
you could get a lot of that for very little.
Big Red. I remember that.
Like Keystone Light. But that's
And
another,
Red Dog.
That's
Yeah.
another. Oh, Red Dog. That's another day.
Here we go. I'm going to bring this up because I'm going to try to jump back into my hotel story.
Yep.
I found out one of the things that I left out, and of course, because I put it on a different page.
Yep.
So back in the 40s, they had a TV and it was a radio station first, and then they put in a TV studio in the basement of the hotel.
Okay.
And Tommy Dorsey and the Andrews sisters were there a lot. They were like the house band of this place.
Wow.
So they put on their radios. They had a really big reaching antenna at this radio station. So these guys were there quite a bit, putting music out and playing at orchestra and stuff like that. So, which will segue us into basically what I did was went through and found all the famous names I could find.
Okay.
And I'm just going to blast them to you.
Do it.
And you tell me your initial or if you know them. I tried to group some of them together, but most of them are going to be some music things.
Okay.
So if anybody has any thoughts or whatever. But the first one I'm going to put in here is Penny Hardaway.
Yeah. Yeah. Orlando Magic, man. That guy.
And he is now currently the head coach of the Memphis college basketball team.
The Memphis Tigers?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And he got into an altercation earlier this season. I think him and the other coach were kicked out. They were like arguing at half court in the middle of the game. Like both other coaches got kicked out.
Bob Huggins?
No, I think it was the Tennessee coach or something, but they both got like double teched up real quick and got kicked out.
And kicked out. Go Penny. That his career got cut way short. He had a foot injury, right? I mean,
I think so. Kind of like Grant Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who I was thinking of. Grant Hill. Maybe that's who it was. Super athletic, lots of promise, but then it just never happened.
Well, him and Shaq were coming up at the same time. And
True. Yep.
They toured up in Orlando for a while.
Yep.
How about this one? Shannon Doherty.
Oh, 90210.
Yeah, that takes you back, doesn't it?
Reboot. I heard they're bringing it back. No?
Ooh.
Jamie is
There was
not
an
impressed.
sound
Not
over there.
impressed.
We need
No.
to stop remaking stuff.
I agree. They need to
There
stop.
are no ideas left, I
No,
feel like.
No.
Morgan Freeman.
I was going to do a Morgan Freeman impression there. Would not have come out well.
Good call.
Yep.
Way to button it up.
Yep.
Kathy Bates.
Yes.
She's from around that.
She's a fantastic actor.
She is really good.
Fantastic.
Sybil Shepherd.
Moonlighting.
There you go.
Yes.
That's what I know her from.
Yep.
Back in the day. Let's see. How about Rick Dees?
American Top 40.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also the creator of the Disco Duck one-hit wonder song in like 1978.
Yes.
He was the Disco Duck.
Rick Dees was like the poor man's Casey Kasem.
Yes, he was. He was a little more bubbly.
Yeah.
He didn't have the long distance dedications either.
No.
But Rick Dees.
It worked in a pinch, though.
Yeah, if you couldn't find Casey. Let's see here. Here's some more that you might know. How about, I'm just going to go on a run on some music ones here now.
Okay.
We got Isaac Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Shaft theme song.
Very famous Scientologist, too.
Oh, yeah, and he also did the voice of Chef, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Aretha Franklin spent a lot of time around here.
Yes. What? She's the
Queen of Soul. That's
there we
right.
Go. Yep.
We already talked about Elvis. He's from there.
Yep.
There's a band in the 70s called Big Star, which is credited for kind of like alt country music. And Alex Chilton was the lead singer, and he was really good. They used their song on the 70s show. So the intro where they're all in the car like singing the song on the beginning of the show, that's a Big Star song.
Oh.
Then we have the band Booker T and the MGs are from this place.
Yep.
So Steve Cropper on guitar, Donald Duck Dunn. They famously join Aretha in the Blues Brothers movie.
Yes.
So these guys are all from that area. Jerry Lee Lewis, the Killer piano player.
Yes.
Him and Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, all came together and recorded at Sun Studios, owned there, and it's still operating as a music studio. I went and did a tour there, which was amazing. I got to see the microphones that they recorded Elvis on.
Is it
Johnny
just
Cash.
as small as like the
recording studio
show in the movies?
The recording studio is smaller than this room, like where they set up all the gear.
Wow.
And then they have a console room that's probably the size of the vestibule, really. And then there's the rest of the building. They've turned it into like a soda fountain and gift shop. And then upstairs they have a bunch of memorabilia that you can walk through and take a tour.
Interesting.
Really cool to check it out. And you can record there. So Dolan's band, if they pay a bunch of money, they can go record at Sun Studios.
Oh, interesting.
They still operate and do the same stuff.
Okay.
One of my favorites, she is kind of an up-and-coming artist, but her name's Julian Baker. She's from there. She's known for guitar playing. I went and saw her in Minneapolis for my birthday this year.
Oh.
Al Green just announced yesterday he's going to be on tour for the first time in about 8 years. He's spent a lot of time in Memphis. Comedian and actress Leslie Jones.
SNL, Leslie Jones?
The one, the Ghostbuster.
Yes.
Leslie Jones.
I wouldn't hold the Ghostbuster thing against her, but that's...
I thought it was decent.
Eh.
If it's a standalone thing, which it should be, I thought it was enjoyable film.
I guess.
Here you go. Here's 3 in a row for you. These are specifically for you.
Awesome.
Jerry Lawler, Ric Flair, Jimmy Hart.
That is fantastic.
Right?
Yes.
All from this area.
Yes. Mid-South Wrestling.
Ric Flair, born in Memphis,
What?
given up for adoption, and then adopted and moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota later in his life, where he's from.
Somebody gave up Ric Flair for adoption.
The Nature Boy. Wow. Yep, he was just a nature baby then.
The 18-time?
I think so, yeah.
18-time heavyweight champion.
He's got more than Tom Brady, I know that.
I'd give you a woo, but I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't give it justice. So,
Yeah.
no.
Dolan mentioned B.B. King. So we got B.B. King and Albert King, which is, Memphis is really kind of known as the home of the blues.
Who's Albert King?
He was prior to B.B. King, guitar player.
He was the king before.
Yeah, and then there's like Howlin' Wolf is another blues guitar player that I know is from this area. John Lee Hooker, he's also in the Blues Brothers movie.
Yes.
Muddy Waters, not totally from there, but played a lot of shows and time there. Machine Gun Kelly.
The rapper?
No. Depression area bank robber.
It's really sad I went to the rapper first, right?
It is super sad.
Damn it.
That you did that. But I kind of tricked you.
I'm embarrassed.
Wink Martindale.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Started out the radio stations there.
With the big, long microphone.
Yep, and then went to the TV show and did a bunch of those, what do you call those? Game shows.
Yep, game shows.
Game shows. Let's see, here's a couple more. Danny Thomas was an actor and singer and a dancer. He's the guy that ended up founding St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
What was his TV show? That was Father Knows Best?
Yep, you're right.
There we go.
Look at you. That's an old school show.
Yep.
Tennessee Williams, the playwright from this area.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof?
Yeah, it's Streetcar Named Desire.
Yep.
Charlie Musselwhite, who's an active blues player. He's a harmonica, like one of the best harmonica players in the entire world is from this area. Roy Orbison.
Yes.
Chris Parnell, also SNL guy. Otis Redding. Reggie White, football player, spent some of his time, and his first team that he played on was in the USHL, the Memphis Showboats.
Dolan's so happy about this. Reggie White, Packer.
Yeah.
So happy about
I didn't
that.
talk about the Packers part, but
Yeah.
Let's see here. The founders of FedEx and Holiday Inn, both from this town.
Wow.
And then I found Ida B. Wells. She is one of the founders of the NAACP, also from Memphis.
Wow.
So that is a long list of famous folks.
How big is Memphis? Like, how many
Population-wise, I don't know. I mean, it's big enough that it has an NBA team.
Okay, yeah.
I think they have a hockey. Do they have a hockey team?
Memphis.
Is there a Memphis team? Or am I thinking of Nashville? I think I'm thinking of
I think
Nashville.
you're Nashville Predators, yeah. Yeah. Let's look up.
They have the minor league baseball team.
of the stupid
AAA.
Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals.
Yeah. I would still go to that, though, because I love baseball. So.
Yeah. And it looks like a pretty cool little stadium from what I could tell.
Memphis population, 646,000. That's Omaha.
Yeah.
That's Omaha.
Doesn't include the suburbs.
Doesn't include
Yeah.
the suburbs.
Yeah.
No, that's just Memphis, and that was 2010. So let's see. That's just what the Google machine told me. Oh, now we're up to 670 as of 2011. Okay. Well,
I'd
there you
guess
go.
it's around 1 million with everybody, involved. Yeah.
That's still not that much bigger than Omaha.
Not
though.
really,
I mean,
no.
Omaha and suburbs and stuff.
So yeah, I mean, when I went there, it was one of those places that I did a lot of stuff in like 3 days. I'd never stopped moving, and I would definitely go back and see some more because I couldn't see it all. And I walked a lot. I walked miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
But
It was
when
fun.
there's that much around there,
Yeah, a lot of history. I mean, it's technically kind of the South, and you had like a lot of soul food stuff that we can't get here, and barbecue. I mean, they're definitely known for barbecue. So,
Yep.
if you're into that sort of thing, that's the place to go.
I love me some Kansas City barbecue. I would argue that Kansas City is the best in the country, but I like a good dry rub Memphis style rib.
That's my favorite, Memphis style.
Yeah.
And then KC. I'm not a like vinegary based North Carolina mustardy stuff. I don't do that.
No.
Also, amber ales really pair well with barbecue.
Oh,
They kind of cut through that. If you're going to do a sauce, they cut through the sweetness of the sauce, but also they kind of get through the spice of a dry rub rib. So that's maybe why this is one of their standard all year round beers.
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, all right. So, what do you think their the Fireside Ale? What do you think their Untappd rating is?
I'd say 3.68.
3.62.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was just better overall than the first one we had. The first one was good, but this is one I would definitely drink again for sure.
I'd go a little bit higher actually. I'd go like 3.75 on this
Okay.
one, just a little bit higher. And you're right. You could eat a lot of barbecue with this.
Yeah,
And
I
at
think this would be really good on tap,
Yes.
like
And
in a pint or something. That'd be good.
5.1, you could drink a lot of it with
Yeah.
a lot of barbecue and be
Sure.
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, interesting. All right, fun. I want to go to Memphis now.
I'm trying to sell it, man. It was a blast when I was there.
All right, I'm serious about that. If somebody goes to what's the name of the hotel again?
The Peabody.
The Peabody Hotel, and takes a video of the ducks either coming in or going out, one of the two, and posts it on when we post this on Facebook or wherever it is, and posts it on there. And with that video, I want to buy you some ribs down the street at this.
The Rendezvous.
Yep, there you go. I want to see this duck thing. If I can't see it in person right now, I want to see a
I
video.
might
of it.
have to go to nursing school and then work a perm job for at least a year, and then be eligible for travel just to get these ribs because
I think
they're
that's
so
a good idea.
So good.
You should definitely do that. So
Okay.
Well, Brian, thank you. That was a good geography
It helps when I've
lesson.
been there, you know? Like,
Yes.
When we can do these places I've been, it's very helpful for me.
Awesome. All right. Next week, Kirkland brands. No, I don't know.
We need a little more research time for
Yeah,
that.
we will do that at some point. I am kind of fascinated by that, so we'll do
so.
that at some point. All right. We'll see you next week.